I smile a lot, I talk a lot. And apparently, I volunteer for things maybe a little too much. Some teachers even joke that if there was a volunteer sheet anywhere, my name would probably already be on it. When people think of leaders, like a student council president, they often imagine someone who is naturally confident, someone who enjoys speaking in front of people, someone who doesn't get nervous. However, my student council president did not start with confidence. It actually started with one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. 4th grade speech contest. Hundreds of people watching and me standing on the stage saying absolutely nothing. The stage felt enormous, big enough to make me feel small. And the faces of people I knew sitting right in front of me made me even more nervous. And for 10 seconds, and if 10 seconds doesn't sound long to you, try standing on the stage in complete silence for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3. See, that was only 3 seconds. Then I realized I couldn't remember anything. Moreover, I was chosen as the class representative after weeks of preparation time. So it wasn't a failure, it was the failure. Sometimes when we fail, it feels like the rain will never stop. But the strange part is that I practiced my speech over 100 times. At home, in front of the mirror, and even in front of my family. My parents heard that speech so many times, they could have given the speech themselves. But when I stood on the stage, my mind went completely blank. All that practice, gone in 10 seconds. My hands were trembling, my heart was beating fast. I could almost hear the crowd saying, "Please, remember." Especially my 4th grade homeroom teacher, the one who chose me. I was silently asking for help, but no one could actually help me. After the contest ended, I went home, and I cried. I cried and cried as if I had just lost an Olympic medal. Then, I thought to myself, maybe I'm just not good at speaking. Maybe I didn't practice enough. And maybe I wasn't confident enough. Instead, I tried something interesting. Instead of giving up, I tried to stand the gain. I started saying yes to new opportunities and challenged myself to the uncomfortable things. At first, it started small. Raising my hand in class and asking questions if I didn't understand something. Everything felt scary in the beginning. But slowly, something began to change. And I started to believe something very important. Maybe I wasn't bad at speaking. Maybe I just needed more confidence and more practice. Did you know that there's an actual scientific research behind this idea? A psychologist named Carol Dweck introduced the idea of growth mindset. This showed that students who believe their abilities can improve are more likely to succeed. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," they say, "I can't do this yet." The one small word, "yet," changed everything. Scientists also taught something called neuroplasticity. This means that when we practice difficult things, our brain forms new connections. In other words, when we keep trying and struggle, our brain is literally growing stronger. So every time I practiced my speech again, my brain was growing. Even when it felt embarrassing, even when it felt uncomfortable, and even when it felt like the rain hadn't stopped yet. Eventually, my hard work started to show. At BCC, I became the cheerleading captain and later was selected as the school president. And yes, those moments came from one thing: practice. I practiced and practiced every speech that I made. That's when people started calling me the happy president. Which is funny because if they had seen me in 4th grade, standing silently on the stage, they could have called me the very quiet president or the embarrassed president. But my story didn't stop there. After I came to middle school, I became the homeroom representative and later joined the Model United Nations school team. This time, I tried even harder. Sometimes until 11 p.m., then 11:30, then midnight, until I felt ready. I also gained confidence in academics and leadership, receiving the Principal's Honorable Mention Award for maintaining a 4.0 GPA, a Citizenship Award, and passed my bypass exam in the very first semester of my middle school. But the most important things I gained were not the titles. It was the confidence. Then I started to believe something very important. We often see people at their rainbow moment, their success, their achievements. But we don't always see the rain that came before it. The mistakes, the failures, the awkward moments. Those moments build the path to success, because without the rain, there is no rainbow. Also, failure is not the opposite of success. It is always part of the journey. Thomas Edison once said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Sometimes the hardest moments in our life become the most important turning points. Just like my 10 seconds of silence. At the moment, it felt like the worst moment in my life. But now, I realized that it was the moment I needed the most. So the next time when you face failure, when something feels uncomfortable or embarrassing or difficult, remember this: the rain does not last forever. And sometimes the most beautiful rainbow appears right after the rain. Thus, do not define yourself by the rain, because your rainbow might already be on its way. Thank you.